What's going on YouTube? It's your boy DollarMike, aka Michael Mitchell, back at it again with another video. If you've never actually seen my channel before, this is the first time you're watching my channel. I make videos all about personal finance, so that means anything talking about money, I got you 100% covered. In this video, I'm actually talking about this chair I've been using for about a week and a half now, a little bit over 2 weeks maybe. So let's get right into the review of the Hbada Ergonomic Desk Chair. This review will obviously be based on my personal experience with the Hbada chair, as well as other chairs that I've had, as far as gaming chairs and just regular chairs that I've had, just using generally because I use a lot of chairs. I go through a lot of chairs. You'd be surprised, I'm not really that big, but comfort is pretty important to me, and if I'm not comfortable, I'm going to switch it up real quick. It doesn't matter if it comes to a chair, maybe it comes to how my room is set up, possibly because we're still working on that, and stuff like that. So either way, here we go. I used to think that gaming chairs were the way to go. You know, those chairs that look like racing car seats, basically, that belong in cars, but for some reason it's in your living room. That's why I used to think were the way to go as far as just good, solid desk chairs. I didn't really like how normal office chairs look. They were pretty bulky, they were pretty boring, they were pretty old, they were pretty ugly. So I was like, okay, gaming chairs are pretty cool. They get pretty decent reviews online. A lot of people like them, so they must be good chairs. And after using them for about, I would say 3-4 years, I mean, they were solid chairs, but overall it wasn't the best chair for me. I realized that wasn't going to work anymore, and that's why I'm sitting in this bad boy right here, which I do love. Let's begin with the pros of this chair. So the first thing I need to talk about to you guys is comfort, because comfort when it comes to a chair is pretty important. It might be the most important factor actually when it comes down to buying a chair, a solid chair that you're going to sit in for a really long time possibly. I sit here and make videos, I sit here and game, I sit here and edit. I sit down often, and if you're not sitting down in something comfortable, then why would you want to sit down on it? It doesn't really make much sense. Why would you want to sit down on a wooden block, you know? I mean, sit down on something comfortable, make sure your back is straight. All that stuff is pretty important. Anyway, let's get into comfort. So this is no contest right here. This is the most comfortable chair I've ever sat in. As far as this little memory foam that we got, I'm actually sitting on top of, the mesh on the back of the chair, which keeps my back cool, the armrests, which are pretty solid. Nothing crazy about the armrests. I'm not too crazy about these, but overall, the headrest as well, very nice. Overall, this is the most comfortable chair I've ever sat in, and honestly, if you haven't sat in a chair like this one, I would advise you to test it out. Those other chairs that I mentioned in the beginning of the video are great chairs as well. They don't cost that much money. This is actually the most expensive chair that I've also ever bought, but it's definitely worth it for everything that I need. Those other chairs, like I mentioned before, I got those from Staples. You know, you can go and get those gaming chairs, those cheap gaming chairs from Staples, what, like $90, maybe $100. Amazon, you can go and get them for like 100, 150. But I think the most I ever spent for a chair that wasn't this one was probably about $150. So that gives you a hint on how much the price actually costs for this chair. But like I said, it's not that expensive when you actually realize what you're getting. And like I said before, this is the most comfortable chair I've ever had, so I would definitely spend that money again. And we'll get into the price later in this video. I've already sat in this chair for hours straight with no issue on comfort at all. I'm pretty relaxed. As you can see, I'm pretty relaxed in this video, which is kind of surprising because I'm usually pretty stiff and stuff like this, but I'm kind of relaxed because it's really a comfortable chair. I can really lean back. I can change the adjusting, but we'll get into the adjustability later. As far as everything goes, my favorite part is actually this mesh right here behind me. My back used to burn up, bro. You probably can't tell from the camera, but I'm actually in a pretty small room right now, so it does get a little bit warm, and when your back heats up, guess what? If your back heats up on a leather chair, which it would on all my old chairs, then your back's just going to be hot, you're going to start sweating, you're going to start itching, you're going to be uncomfortable. This chair is all mesh in the back, which is super nice because my back just breathes, bruh. It flows. The airflow is still there. It's still warm in here. It doesn't really matter. It's still warm in here. I have no issue with comfort in this chair, but let's move on to the next pro that I have, which is design. Now, design is definitely something that's up in the air. Some people care about design, like me. Some people don't care about design at all, and they prefer 100% functionality, like others. That's perfectly fine. But me, personally, I think I care about design a little bit more or just as much as I care about functionality. If something doesn't look good to me, doesn't look good to my eye, anything like that, I don't like it. It's just that simple. That could come down to this chair, that could come down to a car, that could come down to my laptop, my phone. If the design doesn't look good, if it looks ugly to me, I personally wouldn't buy it. It could be the best product and I probably still wouldn't get it because I just don't like it. If I have to look at it, then that's already annoying me right there. I changed my desk setup, which isn't done, by the way. It'll be done hopefully by the end of this month. I'm gonna make a video on it. We'll see. Hopefully, we'll see. But either way, I change my desk setup often. I change a lot of things around my life often, as far as like what I try to look like, my personal style, everything. All these things matter. All these things count into design, and that's something I really take into account when buying any product. But as far as this chair goes, the Hbada Ergonomic Chair, I think this is the perfect mix between a traditional office chair and a nice sleek gaming chair. I think this is it. I think there's no question. I think it looks good at every angle. I think it's just a nice looking chair. I can't really go wrong with it. I don't really have anything negative to say about the design. I just love it. I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's just that simple. And it design, like I said before, really matters to me. So that's another thing that I think about when buying something. The next pro I have is actually adjustability. So this is the most expensive chair that I've ever gotten. And since it's the most expensive chair, I'm pretty sure it has the most options as far as adjustability goes. I have adjustability on the armrest. I have adjustability on the height, obviously, just general stuff like that most chairs have. I also have adjustability as far as the mesh going back, or my whole, the whole back, I guess the back of the chair going back. Have adjustability on the actual headrest right here. So if you want to adjust that, that's cool too. And I think that's about it. But it's overall more adjustability than I've had with any other chair that I've ever had. And it makes perfect sense because I spent more money on it, but sometimes you don't spend more money and get more adjustability. As far as the headrest goes, you can mess with the height up to 5 centimeters and you can rotate it up to 30 degrees. For the armrest, you can actually adjust those up to 10 centimeters high and low, whatever you want to, get the right setup for your desk or wherever you're sitting at. It doesn't really matter. You can adjust that up to 10 centimeters. I also forgot to mention that this chair has lumbar, or basically lower back support, which is actually very nice and something I personally needed on a chair because I was slouching a lot, and this definitely keeps my back straight. It keeps it curved the way it needs to be curved and not the way it's not supposed to be curved. As far as everything goes, the lumbar support is actually really nice, and that has the mesh on it as well, so it's pretty comfortable. The chair has an overall adjustable height of 8 centimeters. I wish that was a little bit more, but it is what it is. Can't really go wrong with it. It's not terrible, but it's not the best. And lastly, you can actually recline the chair back up to 125 degrees, which is pretty nice. It goes about halfway back, not all the way flat, like 180 degrees. I don't really understand the need in chairs going all the way flat. I don't know who sleeps in their chair like it's a bed, but a lot of gaming chairs actually offer that. The last gaming chair, the one I actually have downstairs, it offers that. I can literally make myself go to sleep, I guess. I don't know why it goes 180 degrees flat, so like it's like a bed, but hey, I don't know. You ask the makers. I have no idea. Either way, this one goes back 125 degrees, which is pretty far back. That's all I need. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. No one's sleeping in their chair, bro. I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so. So let's go on to the next pro. My next pro is actually the price. Yes, I'm finally talking about the price. I got this chair for $189. Normally this chair goes for $200, so I saved about $10 getting this chair. Pretty solid chair. Little bit of expensive cost depending on how much money you plan on spending for a chair, but if you look at like serious gaming chairs or gaming chairs that really just top of the line gaming chairs, they're usually around $300-400. So I think that this for about $200 is not a bad deal at all. I won't consider this a full-blown gaming chair, but I mean, a chair is a chair. As long as you're comfortable, I don't really the gaming thing, it's whatever. There's no special gaming features that make you better at the game because you're sitting in a gaming chair, basically. They might have speakers on it, which is pretty cool, but I mean, about past that, I mean, that's about it. So as far as everything goes, I think for $189 and something I use every single day for, like I said, recording, for editing, for playing games, you need something that's going to support your back. You need something that's going to be right, something that's going to be comfortable, something that will last a long time, and I think this will do it. I mean, I'll keep you guys updated, obviously, in the comments section if it actually does last a long time, because you got to just wait and see on those things. But overall, this is fine, and I think it's a great price for $189, or basically $200. I got one more pro and then I'll get into some cons because there are a couple of cons that I wish were different, but it is what it is. That last pro is that this thing was super easy to build. When I say I built this thing in less than 20 minutes, and I know if I had to build another one of these, I probably could build it in less than 10 minutes. Definitely the easiest thing I had to build ever, and I built a lot of stuff. I'm not lying. I built a lot of stuff from IKEA, which some people think is difficult, some people think isn't difficult. It kind of depends. I think it's pretty easy to build stuff from IKEA, but IKEA stuff tends to take a little bit of time. I built what four other gaming chairs, or 4 other chairs in general. They all took a lot longer than 20 minutes to build, I promise you that, and they had less adjustability, so I don't really know what was up with that. Regardless, this thing, I could build it in less than 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure if somebody just gave me another box right now, I could do it. There's no issue with that. This is a solid bet. I can't go wrong with the easy to build process. The directions were simple. They had pictures. You can't really go wrong with that. But if you're looking at buying one, I'm pretty sure you'll want to know how easy it is to build. Because if it takes you 2 hours to build it, you might not want to do it. You might not want to get it. You might want to get somebody else to do it. I don't know. Either way, let's get into some cons. My first con I actually want to show you, I'm going to put the armrest up a little bit. My first con is actually the armrest. So I don't know if you can see this here. If you can, I'll probably just toss some B-roll in because that's some fun stuff. Either way, the armrests are cool. They're soft. It's like a soft, hard plastic. It's really hard to explain. I really don't know what it is. It's not like the actual seat, but over time, me like sitting like this or whatever, if I'm holding like a controller or something, or if I'm playing with keyboard and mouse, me sitting like this, holding the controller, and my elbows kind of dig into it. After a while, it gets a little bit uncomfortable. I wish it was made out of the same memory foam type of material that's made in the seat on the armrest. But as far as it goes, it is a little bit annoying, but overall, I've gotten pretty used to it. As long as I adjust my armrest to the right height, I don't really have to worry about that, and I can just lay my arms flat like they are right now. So not a big deal, but it is something to note if you're going to be having your elbows like digging into the armrest like this. My second con, and actually my final con, because there aren't that many cons to this chair in my personal opinion, is that it's too low. So I'm about 5'10", 5'11", and this chair, I mean, I sit here, it's perfectly fine, but anybody taller than me, I would not recommend this to. So if you're taller than 5'11", or if you're 6 foot, just don't buy this chair. This isn't the chair for you. I personally think so. Your knees are going to be up like this. I can't really show you because I'm not gonna put the camera down, but your knees are gonna be up like this, and you don't really want that sitting down. I think if you're like like my height, basically 5'10", 5'11", I think this is like the perfect height chair. This is like perfect. It fits my body and everything. I mean, it's wide enough for wider people, but it fits my body and everything. Nothing really wrong in there. But yeah, if you're tall, I wouldn't recommend this. I would try to find something else, only because the height of the actual chair doesn't go up that high, which is something that I actually mentioned earlier in the video. I just don't know why it's this low to the ground. This is the lowest to the ground chair I've ever had. It's not that low, but when you sit down and you realize that you're tall and your knees go up, it's that low. So like I said, if you're tall, if you're 6 foot or taller, don't buy it. I would try to look for something else. I can give you a couple more pros that I didn't really include because I didn't think they were full drawn out pros, but the chair rolls pretty easily. That could be a pro or a con depending on what you like, but I personally don't mind it. My old chairs were actually really hard to roll across like hardwood floors, which I thought was strange. This one's pretty easy to do, so that's pretty nice for me. For you, maybe not. The other small pro is that it's actually a pretty solid base down below. The base is actually the heaviest part of the chair, which it kind of should be, but other chairs I've had, the base has actually been pretty light. So this is nice to have a pretty strong base. I mean, I'm not that heavy. I don't weigh that much, so that wouldn't really matter to me. But somebody a little bit heavier, it could be kind of worrisome if you got one of my old chairs. This chair, I believe, supports up to 250 pounds. My older chairs, I have no much. Wow. I don't know how much they support, so take with that what you will. I'm not linking my old chairs anywhere. They're all trash compared to this. So it is what it is. Overall, I would definitely highly recommend this chair if you're in the market for a brand new chair, regardless of if you're using it for general office use or if you're using it for gaming or you're using it just to sit in a chair. I recommend this chair. I think it's a pretty solid bet. If it's in your budget, which is not too expensive, so I hope it's in your budget, then definitely get it. That's kind of it. Either way, if you enjoyed this video or enjoyed this review, definitely hit it with a like button. Definitely check out some of my other videos on the channel because like I said before, I talk about personal finance here on the channel. Plenty of stuff regarding money, savings, investing, all that kind of stuff. I got you covered. I'm actually having a PlayStation 5 giveaway, so you might want to check that out as well. That ends in like a week, so definitely check that out. And that's kind of it. So like I said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit it with a like button. If you didn't like it, make sure you dislike the dislike button twice. And yeah, I got you guys in the next video. I'm out. DollarMike. Peace.